How's it, guys? Okay, so this is going to be a quick review of the new Versys 300. My family just got one as a demo bike, so I'm just going to be giving it a quick test ride. It's a 300cc version of the normal Versys 650 or 1000. Awesome looking little bike. It's my first time ever riding a 300, in fact. I can't find any official power figures or anything, so this is going to be more of a first impressions than a full review, but let's see how this thing does. Cool, so we got indicator, throttle, let's adjust mirrors, bring that down. Actually also, wow, that clutch is light, like it doesn't even feel like it has a clutch. Okay, pulls out at the end. Cool, cool, I like it. Okay, haven't been in a 300 ever. Okay, wow, this thing is very light. Cool, so it's got a gear indicator. Wow, very comfortable. I mean, it's almost unsettling how light that clutch is and the gear lever. Like, I spoke about the Z650 having a very light clutch and its feel and everything. This thing is lighter still. Look, this is definitely going to be an awesome commuter bike. I mean, damn, I wish you could actually have one of these. This is not a bad idea. Wow. Okay, so that was up to 5th gears. I think if I saw correctly, this bike does, I think they said like 90 miles per hour, and that's a big push. But it's more comfortable, you know, lower speeds than that. 90 would be quite a quick speed for this bike, so it's not going to be a top-end bike, but as a commuting bike, which is what this is, I think it's quite awesome. You can definitely feel a pull. Everything's so light on this, it doesn't feel like you're pushing it, it's weird. Okay, I don't know if you can hear that, there's quite a loud buffeting noise from the windscreen. I'm not feeling it on my head, like I can move my head there, like this is where the wind catches me, right there. So wind resistance is great, but there's a large noise from this thing. Let's just see. Yeah, as soon as you go out from there, it's gone. It could actually be buffeting on my my SJ cam. That's possible, you know, my little camera on the side. Maybe that's where the buffeting is coming from. So let's see, it's got an eco mode, well, it's got an eco indicator to show you if you're riding economically, which pops up there just in the corner. And it's got the digital speedo, analog tach, which is awesome. I like that combination. Gear indicator, which is always nice. Just gonna stop here. We might be picking up my cousin. I'm just gonna hop off and take a look at this thing quickly. Okay, so let's talk about this. Okay, so you got a place to put your boxes. You can put pannier racks in this. I would not suggest this thing as a full touring bike, because I think, you know, you're looking at a top speed of maybe the 140, 150 mark, and around there you're not really going to be getting great kind of touring kilometers. Let's see the instrument cluster. Okay, we've got a neutral indicator, we've got a clock, fuel consumption, trip meter, gear indicator, I don't know if I said that already, digital speedo, there's the fuel gauge, the temperature, analog tach. You got, it's in the ABS model. I think most countries only come in ABS nowadays, although it is an optional extra. Let's see, it says ABS. Yep, there's little discs, ABS. Put on the indicator, and this flashes you. You got these running lights there, and then you got your main beam in the middle. Hazards, hooter, passing lights. It's not fancy with electronics, but it looks very modern with all the gadgets. You could definitely take someone on this, because if you look at the passenger peg ratio, it's not that short, so it looks pretty good. There's a place to hold on to for your passengers. This is definitely a good beginner's bike because of how comfortable this thing can be. Cool, so I'm just gonna get back onto this bike now, and we're gonna do some more riding, and I'll get some more impressions of it. So standing up. Oh, and then standing up feels amazing on this bike. But I mean, these bikes are made to be stood up on. You know, they got the wide pegs, the handlebars are high, so you're not reaching forward. Like my bike, when I stand up, I'm like got my butt in the air. I've got pull from about 5,000, even less than 5,000. And pulls. It's awesome fun. And the only reason I would not suggest this thing for touring is just because it's top speed. I don't think you can comfortably sit it more than 120, if you can even sit at 120 comfortably. This is, you know, if you're going to be touring on back roads the whole way kind of thing, and you're happy to go like 120 is your top speed, I think this is where you want to look. More than that, you'd have to maybe look at this 650. Yeah guys, I know I've been quiet for a while, and it's going to be quiet for the next month and a half or so. It was a busy time in my life. I got exams, I got projects, but after that I'll be, you know, on the 28th of May, I believe it is, I've got I'm going to Kyalami for the bike festival, and I'll be testing quite a few little bikes. Well, I said little, I'm going to be testing an R1, a CBR1000SP1, the new Superduke MT-09, the new GSX-R1000, and the BMW S1000RR. Those will all be very short. There'll be 2 laps of the track kind of reviews, but I'll give you, you know, feedback on what the power feels like, and I'm testing them all on the same day, so I can give you comparisons and real-time comparisons of what these things feel like. This thing falls over quite nicely. I mean, you got that high center of mass kind of feel where it like needs to be turned, but you know, you can throw this thing over. And you can go full throttle on these things all the time, because you're not going to worry about sliding out or wheeling it or anything just off of power, you know, because they're not hugely powerful. Stand up again. Yeah, this feels so good to stand up on. Yeah, and it's still maneuverable up here, whereas mine is like, okay, you're gonna stand still when you're standing up. And you have a good view of your speedo in that. So I know Kawasaki said this is a road bike that can do some off-roading, and I've never done off-road on anything but a pure off-road bike, and even that was quite a while ago. So I can't comment on what I think this thing would be like off-road. I'm not going to take it off-road. I'm not even going to take it on like grass. But it's got the slightly, you know, dual-purpose tires on it. It's got the spoked wheels, it's got the comfortable suspension, the good standing position, so I'm sure if you wanted to take this thing off-road, you could. Now look at that pull. I mean, I'm not timing myself or anything, but this thing moves. Look at that. Let's see this thing around the corner. Oh wow, that is planted. But there, like I was throttling a bit and it wasn't going much past the 100 mark, so I think that's kind of it. That's the last place it feels comfortable, you know? Is around the 100 mark. 120, I'm sure you could use this thing on the highway. We're not going to go on the highway. But I was doing 100 and it felt okay. So I'm sure this thing can do highway easily. And I think more and more 300cc are the perfect learner's bike. And in South Africa, the rule is once you turn 16, you can get your learners for a motorcycle, but you're only allowed to ride a 125 until you hit 18. then you're allowed to get your normal license and you can get a bigger bike. And I don't like that because the 125 is too slow, I think. Yeah, but I mean, like, all these small bikes are not going to sound great without an exhaust. But it's not a bad sound. I know in my last review of the Z650, someone asked me, does it vibrate at the back when you go full throttle kind of thing? And I said I didn't notice anything. Now, in case it's a Kawasaki thing, I don't notice any vibration from the back more than normal. Like a tiny bit is on my butt right now, but nothing I would even consider complaining about. Like it's nothing. So in case that was someone else's question, I just wanted to make a point of it now that I'm fresh in the mind. I just remember that a lot of people complain about it. Are they following me? Yeah. Full throttle. I actually think, yeah, I think it's the wind hitting the side of my helmet or the camera that's making that whipping noise. So that's the only reason I actually get any wind noise at all. So this thing has very good wind protection. Okay, this thing gets like my full recommendation for like a starter bike or even like a medium guy who wants to. Yeah, so even if you're like a medium rider or you're getting back into riding after you haven't done it for a while, I think this is an awesome bike to do it on. Good power, but not too much power kind of thing. So I'm going to go ahead and end this first impressions ride right here. And keep your eyes peeled for the Kyalami stuff. It'll probably be the next thing I upload. If it's not an Africa Twin, I might be going to test one of those beforehand. Fingers crossed I get that done. And I'm looking at maybe doing a zero motorcycle in the near future. So keep your eyes open for all the reviews to come up. I hope you enjoy this first impression. I'll hopefully get another one of this done soon. I forgot to add this in, but I'm just going to throw it in quickly. This bike is courtesy of Primrose Motorcycles in Primrose, Germiston. Check them out for great bike deals. They're official supporters of Kawasaki, Suzuki, plus second-hand models all the time. Check them out. I'll put a link to their websites in the description. And that's where I got this bike to do my test rides, and that's where I do quite a few of my test rides, including that Z650. So check them out. Cheers!